Welcome back to the Wrestle Show, and we know it's that time of year again. It's WrestleMania week, and with WrestleMania always comes who's going to be called up from NXT. And so here's my list of the few people I think should be called up from the NXT roster. Now, I haven't got to watch NXT that much over the last few months, but these are some people that have been there for a little while, and I've enjoyed watching them the few times over the last few months that I have got to watch. But these are a few people I think should be called up to the main roster if they call people up. Maybe not the day after, but, in the coming weeks afterwards. For sure. First off is Aleister Black. Aleister Black, of course, he's phenomenal in the ring. He's really good in the ring. He's able to move he's able to move really quick for a guy his size. And his in-ring ability is just, rather good. And I think it would be a big loss for the NXT roster, but I think he'd be great on, say, SmackDown or Raw or whatever. On those, one of the two main roster shows. Of course, maybe it's because of his dark persona kind of thing he's got going on there, and the fact that Undertaker's always been my favorite wrestler of all time. And so maybe his dark persona is what kind of draws me to Aleister Black. I don't know. All I know is I enjoy watching him wrestle. I enjoy his entrance, and I think he's really good in the ring. So that would definitely be one person I think should be called up. Now, I know he's in the middle of a feud with Cien and everything, and I think that could blow off easy at NXT TakeOver for at least one of those two. But I would love to see Aleister Black come to the main roster. If nothing else, even bring him in possibly as Braun Strowman's extra, or teammate for the tag team match that he is in. I think that would be really cool, at least if they wanted Braun Strowman to win that match. But definitely one person I would love to see come in. Second would be Adam Cole and his Undisputed Era. I know Bobby Fish had that injury, so Bobby Fish should be out for a while. He's got that torn ACL, I believe they said it was. And so he's going to miss NXT TakeOver New Orleans. He's also going to miss extended time probably after that. So, that said, I still wish Adam Cole would be able to come to the main roster. I think he'd be really good. He's very charismatic. He commands the ring, and he's very entertaining. He's really good. In the ring. He's really good with his moves. He reminds me of another wrestler from days gone by. Just by the sheer ability to command the crowd the way he does. And I think that's something definitely missing from the main rosters these days. Is there's not very many wrestlers that just really galvanize the crowd to where the crowd's just like, yeah, we love this guy. It's slowly happening with AJ Styles, where people are loving him more and more, and not just seeing him as soccer mom, as John Cena put it a few years back when he came, or when back last year, I guess it was, when AJ Styles first entered the WWE. But I think he'd pair really well with Shinsuke Nakamura or AJ Styles. I think they could put on some great matches. So I'd love to see him move up to the SmackDown roster and be given a chance. And like I said, he reminds me of a wrestler from, I guess you could say, from the Attitude Era that everyone knows and loves. He does remind me a lot of Shawn Michaels by his abilities in the ring, and his ability to get the crowd into it and keep the crowd into it. Because Shawn Michaels was always good at getting the crowd behind him or pissing the crowd off, whichever one he was sent out there to do that week. And Adam Cole, I think, can do the same thing. Every time I see him wrestle, he's been without a doubt, one of the most charismatic of the pay-per-views I've watched with him. And then that's going to take me to the last of the men that I think should be called up. And this is just one of my favorites I'd like to see. It has nothing to do with his in-ring ability, although his in-ring ability is good. And I think his character is rather fun to watch. But that's No Way Jose. And I would love to watch him come to the main roster. I think that would just be entertaining, especially if he comes in as a face. as opposed to playing heel. I think it'd be great to see him come in, and things like that. I think he'd be really fun to watch. And then that's going to take me to my very last person right now that I think could possibly be called up, or that I wish would be called up, and that is NXT. I believe she's still the women's champion, Ember Moon. She's really good. She's amazing in the ring, and she's one of the best women in NXT, I think, right now. I haven't seen, there hasn't been a talent like her in the NXT since Asuka left, and so I think Ember Moon would be a great call up for the women's division. I just don't know where they would put her at the moment because of, the roster is kind of bloated, it seems like, up there at the top. So that would be a problem for a lot of these guys that, I think some of them would just get lost in the shuffle, even though I would love to see them on the main roster. And that's the one fear I would have for Ember Moon, that maybe she would get lost in the shuffle and not have really that great of a push that she would deserve. But I think she'd be really good. I think it would be good to be able to have her come up. That way they could give somebody like a Charlotte or whatever a break when they need it. But anyhow, that's been my choices for who I think who the WWE should call up from NXT in the days and weeks following WrestleMania 34. And of course, NXT TakeOver New Orleans. Anyhow, it's been the Wrestle Show. Have a great day.